Hello gamers, and welcome back to another episode of Solo Spelunking. And tonight I will continue my Star Wars game Adventures in the Keldor sector, and this time once again powered by Starship and blasters. And if you want to know what that is, it is a D6 pool based or pool mechanic based rules light game based on Delves and Dangers by Magehammer from the channel Magehammer's Game Table, so do check this out. And it is my space opera Star Wars inspired adaptation of it, and you can get it for free in my community tab. And so we are rejoining Rhya, Eldrillian Shadow Huntress, and Nash Duncan, human scoundrel, smuggler, and pilot for hire. And they have joined together as crew on board the versatile Rust Bucket, an old Corellian Engineering YR-1080 light freighter, which is pretty slow and in serious need of upgrading. And we have made our way now to TL1307, an unsettled system at the edge of the Keldor sector, because Rhya, she's an operative for the Eldrillian Council of Elders. And if you want to know what all this means, watch the very first episode of the very first season of this series. Yeah. And so we are we have just arrived in the TL1307 system after avoiding an inspection by an Imperial interdictor cruiser. And just 1 second, because my den is in the attic. There's a small little not so pleasant insect here that I need to get rid of first, and then we will continue. Okay. Yes, so yeah, sorry about that. Yeah, we just arrived in the system, and what I know, but they don't, is that there's a secret, not only this detention camp where Rhya's got the coordinates to, but also a secret listening post. So as soon as I arrive in the system, there's a pretty good chance, because of this listening post, that they might detect something without me noticing it. So I'm rolling a d6, and on a 1 or 2, my entry into the system is detected by the surveillance station. No, it is not, because I mean, I'm just a small ship and it's a huge system, and they're also more directed towards other parts of the sector, but still. So we arrive in the system, and yeah, as expected, there's nothing on the scopes, and I go, well, Rhya, we're here. So if I put in these coordinates, they lead to the 3rd planet, to the 2nd moon of the 3rd planet. It'll take us a while to get there, because I dropped out, yeah, pretty far out of the system. Didn't want to risk, yeah, getting detected if we dropped out too close to the destination. So what I usually do, doing my smuggling runs, if I want to sneak someplace in undetected, I reduce all my power emissions to absolute minimum, meaning switch sensors to passive mode, that they only gather information without sending out any active transmissions or emissions. That has the disadvantage of very limited range. And I also just accelerate to speed and then sort of drift, and yeah, I reduce my energy output by switching to emergency life support. It will not be pleasant, but it's the best thing I can do with the means I have at my disposal. Well, I trust your judgment. I think you have made a pretty good living so far, getting into places undetected that nobody wanted you to get into. Yeah, I'll do my very best. And then I do as I told her, so I accelerate, then switch off the engines to let inertia carry me, and I also switch sensors to passive mode and basically drift towards the moon, occasionally using thrusters to adjust the course, or firing short bursts of the ion engine to get back to speed in case any gravity wells from other planetary bodies, etc., change my course or slow me down. All right, so but it'll still take us. Well, actually, it would take us forever, but this is like sort of cinematic. I mean, if you have ever played the Elite Dangerous computer game, which is, in my opinion, a really great space game, and I've played it since. So I was a premium beta backer, and I've played it basically since beta, and I still turn it on every once in a while, and it does a great job of simulating actually the huge vastness of space, and so you wouldn't go actually anywhere without traveling at super light speeds, even within a system. But this is not realistic, this is cinematic, so let's just say we will get there in a reasonable amount of time. And yeah, so let's hope and pray that we are not detected. Let's roll. And on a 1 or 2 on a d6, something as we get closer to the detention facility might detect us. Oh, a 2, of course. So, as we get closer, suddenly there's a blip on my scopes. Beep. Damn. Something's out there. Beep. All right, so is it coming closer, Rhya asks. Hard to tell with the sensors on passive. I don't know. Beep. Beep. Damn, yeah, it looks like whatever it is coming closer. All right, so let's see. Maybe is there anything nearby? I'm checking my sensor readings now in detail. Is there anything nearby? Maybe a small debris field or a nebula cloud or whatever where we could hide in? Let's see. So I'll give it, even though it is actually probably the odds would be lower, this is cinematic, I'll give it 50-50 odds. 50% chance that there's something nearby where we could hide in. Ooh, 07. Almost an exceptional yes. But not only almost, but yeah. Oh, we are lucky. There's a large a large dust cloud not too far off. I gotta make some minor course adjustments, and then it'll carry us into the clouds, into the ice cloud. All right, so I gotta make a piloting roll now to see if my course adjustments are unsuspicious enough so that they don't raise any more suspicion, and that I time it just right so that I enter the cloud before whatever it is that is coming for us is close enough to get a detailed sensor reading. And I think that is... All right, it's either moderate or difficult. So I roll 1, 2, 3. It is difficult because high is better, and 4, 5, 6, it is moderate. Oh, it's a moderate roll. So a moderate difficulty means I need 3 successes. Yeah, 3 successes. And I am rolling my piloting skill, which is my agility 4. You know what? Actually, in this case, I mean, in Starships and Blasters, you start building your pool with an attribute, strength, agility, intelligence, cunning, and then if you got a fitting skill, you add your proficiency bonus. And the rule set lists skills under the attribute that they're most commonly used in. But you are, of course, free to combine. And for me, in this case, it would actually make more sense, even though I'm bad at it, to use intelligence. Because here, so agility is like quick reflexes, hand and eye coordination, and yeah, and also multitasking capabilities with your fingers, basically. But in this case, I'm needing to time it right and to calculate the bursts so that I drift in the cloud and I don't over accelerate, basically. So this, for me, it's also not really cunning, because cunning is more like charisma, wisdom combined, like this. I don't know how to really translate it, like this. If you're cunning, you are like quick-witted and in the moment, but intelligence is more like academic knowledge, calculations, etc. So actually I'm using intelligence, which is 2 dice, but I am proficient in piloting, so I get my proficiency bonus of 1 die, and I also improved my handling, because handling is still figured in by 1. My handling was 0, now my handling is 1. So that gives me another die. So my pool would be 4 dice. 2 for intelligence, 1 for my piloting proficiency, and 1 for my handling. So I get to roll 4 dice, and I need 3 successes, and a 3 plus is a success, and 6s explode. So let's see. 3 successes. Please. Oh, yeah, because failure, success, but 1 exploding die. So I get to roll another die and add to it. So if I roll a 3 or higher, I'm at my 3 successes. Please. Yes. Whew. All right. So I just make it. Thanks to the exploding die and OOC. For those just tuning in, I of course also always want to impress Rhya, because I got the hots for her and I want to romance her, and therefore I need to collect a certain number of affection points. And whenever I do something cool to impress her, or I don't know, save her life in combat or whatever, I get an affection point, and if I fuck up, I lose 1. So yeah, so I time it just right, so she sees me concentrating, and I make some calculations, and then I basically count down 3, 2, 1, burst, and then I fire the ion engine, and then I shut him off, and then I go maneuvering thrusters, right. So I'm basically walking myself through the procedures, and the ship drifts into the ice debris or ice dust, whatever cloud. So it's not like an asteroid thing, so it's not dangerous to my ship, but it hides me from, of course, visual detection and also sensor detection. So as we glide into this bluish violet nebula, and as we're, I don't know, a couple of 100 miles in whatever it was, we won't find out because we're not turning our sensors on, passes by without us, without it detecting us. So, and then as we are in the nebula, I stop the ship, also with small maneuvering bursts, and I go, I gotta stop, because I don't know how big this cloud is, and I don't want us to get carried out of the cloud again. And I think we should just wait a little while to make sure that whatever that was on patrol is far enough away. Rhya looks at me. I'm a little bit uneasy. We are on the clock here, you know. I know, we are on the clock, but it would gain us nothing if we risked open combat and detection just to save maybe half an hour. I mean, we've come this far. Let's not get cocky. And I must laugh a little because usually that is exactly what I do. I get cocky, but yeah. Yeah, you're right. It's just that there's much at stake here. I know. All right, so let's give it half an hour. Let's give it half an hour, and then we will head back. Head out again. All right. So half an hour passes. We head out again, and now it is a 1 in 10 chance that they are still there and might come around for another pass. So only on a 1 on a D10. And if that's not happening, we are basically safe. For the approach, at least. Please. It's a 2. But a 2 is not a 1. So, as we come out of the ice cloud, the scopes are clear. And we continue our passive approach. And then we enter the thin but still breathable. It's a class M moon. It's a forest moon, just like Endor, but it's not like a jungle. It's like a pine tree forest. Yeah, and we head for the coordinates. But I also go, well, Rhya, we can't get too close. I gotta fly very low and use the terrain to hide my approach, and then we'll gotta hike a little bit. Yeah, I figured that much. Okay, so we land a couple of clicks out of the coordinates of the facility. So I'm going very low, just above the treetops, and if they're like larger woodless areas, I also use them to get even lower and to basically follow the terrain path between the trees. And then I sat down in a secluded spot. And yeah, so we get our gear ready. So we each take a small hard pack, like a backpack. And so we take everything with us. Comlink. So Rhya, she's got a security kit, binoculars, a med pack. And I also got a security tick, a multi-tool, binoculars, a glow rod. I don't have a med pack actually. Damn. Okay. So no med pack for me, but Rhya has one. Okay. Yeah, and then we head out through the woods towards the detention facility. And let's check if there's a random encounter in the woods on a 1 or 2 on a D6. Could be like a creature encounter. Oh, of course it is. 2. Alright, and what I do have in my solo RPG framework, actually I've never really talked about it, is also a creature generator, where you can generate creatures. I put this in here for the big game hunting mission that you can get. So let's see what kind of creature we encounter. So first we determine the body type of the creature. with 1d6. And the body type is a 3. It is a giant insectoid. Alright, so a giant insectoid. Let's see what a special ability it has. 3. Oh, it exhales toxic spores. So because it's an insectoid, let's just not say it exhales them, but like, you know, these spiders that have this defense mechanism when they shed their little hairs from their lower body, and so this is, and also of course this gives me an indication of what kind of creature it is, because it will be a giant ugly spider. And just to complete things, also let's generate a weakness. Let's see if it makes sense. And the weakness is 4. No, it doesn't make sense. An oxygen atmosphere. All right, so let's just say its weakness is direct sunlight. So it stays in the shades of the forest. So it is a giant insectoid that exhales toxic spores and doesn't like direct sunlight. So it is a large, ugly spider that can shed this, like these hairs, or because it's a giant spider, it doesn't like these spores, and it doesn't like the darkness. So those, I think there was this movie, it's an older movie, I'm an old guy, Arachnophobia, when like the final battle with the big mother spider was like in the basement, and there it was also wet, dark, no spiders, because this thing also didn't like being out in the bright light. So yeah, so we encounter a giant spider. Okay, so let's just real quick get a map ready. And thankfully, I didn't put my maps that I used for my Stardark too far away, and I will continue, not Stardark, Defenders of the Shadowlands, I mean, and I will also continue this series, but I'm in a pretty space opera mood at the moment, so you gotta stick with Star Wars for the time being. Main reason is that I like this interaction between these characters so much. So we are moving through the woods, so it's not that dense. And let me check the camera real quick if you can see it. It looks good actually. All right, and now let's get a spider out. Thankfully, I also got the pawns here from my Defenders of the Shadowlands. And there it also features giant spiders. All right. So, giant spider from Pathfinder pawns. Can't go wrong with them. So this giant spider is hiding in the shadows. Let's put it into this tree. It is hiding in the shadows underneath this tree trunk. And it has very sensitive, like a tremor sense. This is what the spiders have. So it detects our approach. And let's see if we can detect it or if we are surprised. And this will be a cunning roll. And with perception as a skill, but none of us has perception. So we don't get our proficiency bonus. And let's say this spider, let's say we need 3 successes. So Rhya first, cunning, 3 dice. And we need 3 successes. It's a moderate roll. And Rhya sadly fails because she only gets 2 successes without an exploding die. And I got cunning 4, thankfully. But I also do not have perception. I also need 3 successes. oh look, 6, 3, 4, that is 3 successes, and I could actually roll this one again. 4 successes, yes. So I detect the spider. So so Rhya, she is taking the lead, and I'm sort of like behind her. And as she approaches and the spider is getting ready to jump at her, I detect a faint movement, and this spider, it's really good. This has really good camouflage because it sits at the side of this tree trunk in the shadows, and it basically, its texture matches the wooden texture of the tree trunk. And I go like, Rhya, back! And I pull her back a little as this spider, not a moment too soon, jumps from this tree trunk, jumps in front of her. And now I need to just 1 second check something in the rules, because what was I going to check? Oh yeah, because I gotta look at the initiative rules. I know I have to make a check and get a certain number of successes, but I have to admit I don't know out of my head now what I wrote down, because this is the first time I'm trying this system out. So just give me a second here. I think it was target number 2, like an easy, just like in Delves and Dangers, but let me check. In the combat section here of this little rule set. And it's different in character combat than in space combat. I know that also, because in space combat you get more bonuses. So initiative. At the beginning of combat, each player character makes an easy agility test with a target number of 2. A character that succeeds acts before the opposition, a character that fails acts afterwards, and initiative is kept for the entire combat. Yes, this is because I mostly play solo and I'm really bad at keeping track if I'm not following a strict structure. So I know Mage Hammer, he likes to reroll initiative every round, which makes it more dynamic, but I'm not that multitasking capable, so you could easily like add your own house rule here. So a target number of 2 agility test. So Rhya, now it's basically, that was to see if we are surprised, and now we are not surprised. So now it is initiative. So Rhya, agility 4. She needs 2 successes. Should be doable. Oh, no, it's not. 3 1s and only 1 4. So she actually goes after. So she seems preoccupied with her thoughts, focusing on the mission ahead, but she's not really in the moment. So Nash, cutting 4 also. Oh, Rhya only had 3, so I even gave her an additional die, but still she didn't succeed, but I do, even with an exploding die, but doesn't matter. All right, so let me get a piece of scrap paper out, and I'll write down Nash, Spider, Rhya. That will be the order of battle. And now I need to determine the stats. And I'm just I'm winging it here now. I say because it's a giant spider and it should be like a threat. I'll give it a stamina of, let's give it a stamina 10 and a defensive value. Let's give it only, let's give it a defensive value of 2 because it's agile and it has like a little like a little natural armor kind of thing, like a crab, but it's a spider. And its attack, it's like its pincers is like a medium weapon, so I'll give it a +2. And it attacks with its strength, so I'll give it a strength of 3, which would make it a 5-die attack or a 5 dice attack pool. But of course it is always also proficient with its natural weapons, so that is, I give it a 6 dice attack pool, 6 dice, plus poison. And poison, so if you take any damage from the attack, you also take, I don't want to make it too difficult because I'm still trying to get a feel for the system, you take 1d2 additional points of poison damage. Alright, so but it is Nash's turn. So I draw my blaster, and I don't have just a normal blaster. I have a customized blaster of Eldridian make, and it's like a +1 weapon, and I will show you a picture in a minute. But before I shoot, I can also move a reasonable distance, so I'm not going to count squares. I'm just moving sort of over here to get a clear shot, and I attack with my blaster. And my attack pool is agility plus proficiency, ranged weapons 1, that is 5, plus the 3 for my blaster, so actually 8. 8, and every success above the defense value of 2 is a point of damage. So actually I'm pretty good. Alright, let's see. Success. This is not a success. 3, 5, and I get to roll 2 more because of these exploding dice. 5, 6 successes -2, so that is 4 points of damage. So actually pretty good start. So I run over here while I'm moving over there. I get my blaster out of my gun belt, my holster, and fire off 2 quick shots and hit the spider. It can't really make a noise, but it raises its legs and it looks like it's in pain, but then it attacks. So 4 points of damage. So the spider is at 6 stamina, but then it attacks Rhya, who has a defense value of 3, and it attacks with 6 dice. 3, 6 plus poison. Ooh. So that is 1, 2, 3, 5 successes, but 2 exploding dice because of the 2 6s. So 5 successes so far. That is 6 successes. Rhya's defense value is 3, so that is 3 points of damage plus poison. Alright, so her stamina, what did I say? 3 points, right? Yeah, 3 points of damage. So Rhya's stamina goes from 17 down to 14. And now she takes in another 1d2 points of poison damage as this spider poison runs through her Gridian veins. Oh, lucky, only 1 point of damage. So Rhya is at 13 stamina. So we move up in the order. Oh no, so it continues. That was the spider's turn. And now it is Rhya's turn. So I was successful, the spider was successful, and now Rhya. So she is already in melee distance. So as basically her move, or with lightning speed, she gets out her force blade, which is the Eldridian version of a lightsaber with a purple blade, and attacks in melee. And so she's got her agility of 4 that she can use, because even though the force blade does damage as a melee weapon, as a medium melee weapon, because the blade has no real weight, because you can use it with finesse, so with your agility instead of your strength if you want to. So that is 4 agility, +2 for the force blade, that is 6 and 1 proficiency. So her attack pool is 7 dice. 3, 6, 7 dice. Yeah, 7 dice, and the spider's defense value is 2. Alright, so that's a failure. That is a failure, but that is 4 successes and 1 exploding die. So let's roll that. No, so that is 4 successes minus 2 defense value is 2 damage, bringing the spider down to 4 points of stamina. And now it is Nash's turn again. So he once again shoots. He doesn't need to move. He shoots. So it is 3 for his blaster and 4 for his agility and 1. So he has 8 dice. Let me write this down here real quick. 8 as an attack pool, so that and she's got Rhya's got 7. 7 versus 8 because he's got the pimped weapon. All right, so 3, 6, 8. Yeah. Oh, look at this. Only 1 failure. 1, 2, 7 successes and 2 exploding dice. 7 successes and 2 exploding dice. And another success. 8 successes minus 2, that is 6 damage. The spider only has 4 left. So Nash with his blaster, with another well-placed shot between the 8 eyes. So the spider goes down. And Rhya goes, disgusting creature. But looks at me, looks like the weapon does what it's supposed to do. Well, it's not only the weapon, the guy wielding it makes the weapon. And she smiles, of course. Like I said, or it seems like you were made for each other. A perfect symbiosis. Indeed. So those of you wondering what it is with that weapon, let me just show you a real picture real quick. So this is the weapon I got. It is like an Eldridian blaster, which is like very light, fine craftsmanship, and it features Shanavar engraved in the barrel, and this means loosely translated lifesaver. And I got this weapon from Rhya as a gift at the end of the first season, because I saved her life twice, and so this is what she gifted me as basically as a reward at the end of our first mission together. So this is the nice little blaster that I have. It features an aim point up here with a little red dot, and it is highly accurate, customized, and perfect craftsmanship. And I've, like in my internal calculations, I value this weapon at around 5,000 credits. And I determined like what you would have to pay for a weapon like that. Okay, so yeah, so I put the blaster away and go like, whew. Seriously, disgusting wildlife indeed. Yeah. But thanks for grabbing me. I don't know where I was with my thoughts, but the thought of this creature jumping on top of me gives me the creeps. Yeah, let's not think about it. Let's just continue on. And we continue. She keeps her force blade handle in her hand, but shuts off the blade. But she's got the handle in her hand. All right, and then without further incident, we make our way to the facility. So we look through, just give me a second here, we look through the forest, and the facility is in a small clearing. They cleared out a little area of the woods because so that they can spot also approaching enemies, intruders, whatever. So this is how this facility looks like. Oh, wait. Just 1 second here now. Okay. Here it is. All right, so this is how this facility looks like. Let me check the camera. Yeah, so it is a small facility, like I said. So we are like hiding here at the edge of the woods and looking ground level, looking at this facility. So we see this facility here, and actually here on this there seems to be a main entrance here and a little side entrance there, at least from what we can see and determine so far. And there are 2 stormtroopers here standing guard. So a total of 4 stormtroopers standing guard. Let me see, is the camera still rolling? Yeah, I always got this fear that I'm talking to myself and the camera is not rolling or stopped suddenly, because this is of course what also happened a couple of times. I think everyone that makes YouTube videos has this happen to him every once in a while. So yeah, so this is what we see. So we get out our binoculars. This is why we took them with us. And from our position in the woods, we zoom in, and yeah, and we can make out some more details. So we scan the area if there are also any like electronic surveillance, countermeasures, motion sensors or whatever. So let's first determine if there are, but I only give it like a 30% chance because it is an uninhabited system and out of the way moon, and this is a little facility. So only a 30% chance that there's electronic surveillance equipment. No, 98. So exceptional no, actually. So not only is there not, so there are no electronic surveillance things around the facility because it's an exceptional no. Let's also say that also actually this is a welcome break. The cameras that are basically mounted at the entrances, I mean, there are definitely cameras that look at the entrance. They're also not working, and the entire security system, apart from the detention level, is in bad maintenance shape. So we might get a break here. Okay, so we take a moment to use our electro binoculars and scan the area. I don't see anything that looks like, I don't know, motion sensors or proximity alarms or sensors. And Rhya goes, no, me neither. Yeah, I mean, this is such an out of the way facility. They probably didn't think of anyone coming here or finding this facility. So what do you say? Main entrance or side entrance? I say we take the side entrance. Okay, So we sneak through the woods so that we are basically somewhere positioned around here. And then Rhya goes, all right, so I need to distract these guards so that we can enter the facility. Okay, so how are you going to do this? I got my methods. And then she uses a power point, which is a force point. She uses a force point. So that is her second force point, and she's out now because I figured the time from the inspection where she used the force point till when we arrived, there was not enough time to really rest. And then she does what Obi-Wan Kenobi did in A New Hope, like just with her hand giving them an impression that there's some movement or something coming off from this direction. And then let's roll for it. But so it is, let's say it is cunning, 3 dice. And because of her force point, she gets 2 additional dice. And she can do things that are usually not possible. So she gives this impression. Those stormtroopers, they have all attributes at 2, intelligence, cunning. So that's also their mental resistance. So she needs 2 successes. And she has 5 dice to give those stormtroopers the impression that there's something wrong. Oh, this looks great because I got 4 successes already, but also 2 exploding dice just for the heck of it. Let's roll those. And another, so 5 successes versus cunning 2. So she goes, just makes this gesture, and then they talk to each other. You can hear this helmet voice through the microphone. Hey, have you seen that? Yeah, check it out. And then they move off, and because they're stormtroopers and with cunning 2 and because of her 5 successes, they didn't even think about alerting these guys so that maybe someone is moving over here from there. So they both head off into this direction. And Rhya goes, this is our chance, go. And then we make our way fast, but we stay low across this clearing to up the stairs to the entry hatch. And this is now where our security toolkit comes in, because, or let's first, it's definitely locked. I mean, it's a detention facility. So, but I said it's in poor maintenance. So Rhya, she's got a security kit. She has intelligence 2. She has security systems as a skill for her proficiency, gives her 3. And I rule that the security kit as an item also adds 1 die as an item bonus. So that is 4 dice. 1, 2, 3, 4 dice. Intelligence, proficiency plus item bonus. Versus it's, because it is in bad shape, it is a moderate difficulty. She needs 3 successes. And 3 plus is a success. Oh no, it is only 2 successes, 4 and 3, and no exploding die. And she goes, damn it, I can't get it. And then I go, let me try real quick. I know it's cheesy, but like I said, bad shape. And I also have a security kit, but I'm of course using Rhya. So I got intelligence 2, but I do not have security system. So I do not get the proficiency, but I do get the +1 item bonus. So I'm rolling 3 dice versus 3 successes that I need. Also no. Damn it. All right, Rhya goes, all right then. She ignites her force blade, And even though it is not very subtle and maybe the surprise moment is probably gone, so she inserts the force plate into the door, cuts around the lock, and then the door opens and we enter the facility. And this is where I will end this episode. All right. So, like I said, I enjoyed it. Thank you for watching. And now my favorite part, because of this spider encounter where I all right, so I either get 1 or 2 affection points. I don't want to make it too easy. So 1, 2, 3, I only get 1. 4, 5, 6, I get 2 because of the ice cloud maneuver was pretty cool, and the spider thing. So let's see if it was cool enough. So 4, 5, 6 means I get 2 points. Yes, a 5. So I get 2 affection points, which brings my total, because I lost 1, brings my total to 10. I was at 8, and now I am at 10 from 12 that I need to have a chance of romancing her. And I got these because of the ice cloud maneuver and the spider combat, where I basically dragged her away so that the spider couldn't jump on her. All right, so that was this episode. I will definitely continue this on the weekend because I really want to. So stay tuned for that. And yeah, if you like this episode and like what I do here, please do subscribe to the channel. And another important announcement, I just started my 30% off Black Week sale on DriveThruRPG. So all my products until after Black Friday on DriveThruRPG are 30% off. I put the link to my publisher page in the description, and there you can get wonderful things like this solo RPG framework and toolbox for space opera, or you can get my Star Knave hack for Knave 2nd edition to play Star Wars adventures using Knave, or if you're more in the vein of Shadow Dark, I also made a where is it? Don't have it here. I also made a Star Wars version of it. And I made a Star Wars board game called Stardark Adventures in the Outer Fringe using the Shadow Dark rule set. And also my new Shadow Dark board RPG called Defenders of the Shadowlands. Yeah, this is this book here where you can use Shadow Dark to play cooperatively in a hex crawl board game RPG hybrid. So all these things you can get for 30% off on DriveThruRPG, and you can also look here at the channel how they work because I usually feature them. And yeah, this is it. Have a wonderful start into the weekend. As always, thank you for watching, and stay safe, stay healthy, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye.